Home is Here on PBS Hawaiʻi is sponsored by Hawaii Leadership Forum, HEI, the Olson Trust, and Peisha Hawaii.
Tattooing has been around nearly as long as human civilization, with different cultures shaping their own practices and meanings. In Hawaii, Kākau uhi was never just art. It was something deeper, tied to purpose and growth. Today, the tradition is carried on by cultural practitioner Kawika Au, who reminds us it's not just about what you see on the skin, but what you carry within.
So there is no ancient Hawaiian word for art. Everything was purposeful, including our tattoos. They were made to help you grow. A lot of times people will come up to me and they'll ask me, what does this tattoo mean? As the practitioner, it is not mine to disclose. That is the wearer, the person who got tattooed. It's up to them whether or not they disclose that information. It's a very personal process. It's a very familial process. So when somebody comes up and asks me what my tattoos mean, a lot of people will come up and say, oh, what's that tattoo on your face mean? I just tell them, it's a personal tattoo. It belongs to my family. I was raised in Tucson, Arizona. My father's from this island. When I was young, I spent my summers here. We spent a lot of time on Oahu. And I always felt called to come back home. I knew that when I had children, I wanted to raise them in their culture. And so when I had my 3 daughters, I sold my company, sold my home, and moved back here as soon as I could. And so I was a single father, just doing cultural work with my mother, Auntie Betty Jenkins. I would carve ipu or I would weave, just to give people an insight into the cultural work. I was surrounded by cultural people for a long time and decided I wanted to get my alaniho. Alaniho is that Hawaiian tattoo placement from hip to ankle. It's genealogical based as well as personal based. And I started researching what it was, what an alaniho actually is. I realized that I was being called to get my alaniho. I really wanted to connect to my cultural past, my ancestors, and tap into that spiritual side. To become a practitioner is different based on the person. I sat with my teacher for about 10 years. It was 6 years before I started making my own tools. We were always taught that the tools will choose the practitioner. So if you can make a good tool and you can use a good tool, then you've obviously been chosen to do this work. I've known some people that it just didn't happen for. And so our explanation was the tools didn't choose them. The tools that we use are called moli, and they come from this animal here, this beautiful moli. It's the Hawaiian Laysan albatross. It's a native bird. They nest out at Kaena to this day. We would use the long bone to form the niho, or the teeth. We would flatten them out, carve grooves, and then sharpen them. And that's what we would use to tattoo. Then they are attached to a kua, which would have been made out of turtle shell, and that would be attached to a stick. And so those 3 pieces kind of symbolize the unity of our Polynesian world. So you have the ivory of the teeth, which is the upper echelon. Only the ali'i or high-ranking people would have ivory. The turtle shell would be the middle-ranking people, and then the stick, anybody could go out and grab a stick. So it kind of brings all 3 classes together into one tool. Some people have come to me with a picture and say, oh, this is what I want you to tattoo. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but that's not what I do. And I can recommend a good machine artist that would do that. But I am a traditional Hawaiian tattoo practitioner. And so if you come to me, this is my practice. This is what I do. It is an in-depth process. The consultation is first. That way I can see what your intentions are and I can discern whether or not your intentions are pono. So when I say pono, I mean your intention is not just to get this work to say, I got tapped. Look what I went through. Look how cool I am. That's pretty easy for me to suss out. And those people, a lot of times, don't end up getting tattooed by me. I don't turn people down because in my practice, anyone who comes to me to get tattooed has come to me at the invitation of Kane. Kane is the god of this practice. And so for me to turn somebody away is not pono in itself. So if the person comes to me and their intentions are not pono, it is my kuleana, my responsibility to help them get the right intentions. Some people will never get the right intentions. They just don't get it. And that's okay. I don't have to tattoo everybody. But I will do my best to help them understand that our markings are not just art, that they are aesthetically pleasing, but it is medicine. So through that interview, I am able to say the prayers. I pray to the gods, I pray to your ancestors to guide me in the patterns that are appropriate for you to wear. The goal is to break the skin and insert prayers. Those prayers are meant to help you become the person that your ancestors want you to be and help you become the person that your descendants need you to be. The mark that's left behind is called uhi. And it's beautiful, but it's almost secondary to my purpose. My purpose is to ho'omana you, to elevate your mana, to elevate your spirit, and help you become the full Hawaiian or the full person that you deserve to be. There are prayers that go with each pattern, each placement, each part of the body that need to be said. I say those prayers to Kane silently. The sound is very hypnotic. A lot of people will fall asleep while we're doing the work. Yeah, you just get into a trance and it just goes. There's something magical about experiencing something that your ancestors experienced thousands of years ago. People see visions, you have ancestors that come and visit them, and other people just relax and they sit and make jokes and talk to their family or their friends. It's a very uniquely individual process in that everybody has their own reaction to it. The sensations are very different on different parts of the body. So anywhere there's bone, it's very uncomfortable. And I say uncomfortable because I would never describe it as pain because it's a spiritual experience. So it's something that we have to go through to achieve the ends. This is not a practice that I can do by myself. I need people to stretch the skin. Their job when we get on the mat is to say prayers to take away the person's discomfort and to hold the skin tight so that the tools penetrate them without me having to hit really hard. And so the lines come out a lot cleaner and it goes a lot faster if you have good stretchers. You don't get to see the patterns until they're done being tattooed on you. And I always remind them when we take breaks, don't look, you know. It's all about that trust in this process. You have the trust for the person doing the work that he knows what to put on you. So at the end, we'll whip out a mirror and then they'll get to see the work that we've done. Right now, all of your ancestors are here with you. They're sitting with you, whether you see them or not, whether you believe in them or not, whether I see them or not, they're with you. When you put them on the outside of the body, everybody can see them. Everybody can see your story, everybody can read them. If you know the patterns, then you can tell a lot about a person by what they're wearing. That's where the medicine comes in, because now that you know you're part of something bigger. If you have one Hawaiian ancestor, you have thousands of Hawaiian ancestors, including the gods. And so now you're a part of something huge, and that makes you carry yourself differently. That's where the magic and the healing comes from. When people leave here, even if they're not Hawaiian, I want them to be connected to the Aina and have a deeper understanding of who their ancestors were and the struggles and the joys and the hardships that they went through just so that they could be here today. We're still here. This is the start of tattooing. When the Westerners came to Polynesia, they saw us doing this work, and that evolved into the machine work that you see today. But it's not what we do. We offer the ceremony to tap into that higher self, into that ancestral knowledge, that ike kupuna that we all have. The goal is to help you access into that.
Mahalo nui for joining us. If you would like to support PBS Hawaii's mission to share stories that connect us, head over to pbshawaii.org and click on the Donate Now button. For Home is Here, I'm Kala'i Miller. Ahui ho.